Greetings. It is an honor to speak to you today. I am Maximilian Corso. Oh, no. Maximilian Calypso. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance today. I'm sure you are most curious how the likes of me ended up here. Well, it is all thanks to my husband, Riften Calypso. He is the lord of this place. Yes, he is a most honorable knight who served faithfully during the war and was awarded with these lands and title. Yes, I am. I might be of noble birth, yet I seem to have this unseemly stutter, and my father was not too fond of me. I am most grateful for Sir Riften to not annul the marriage after his return from war. Why, yes, after all, he was sent off to the war just after our wedding, and there was talks about him annulling the marriage in favor of the princess after his glorious successes during the war. Of course, it afforded him honor that seems wasted on a lowly noblewoman such as myself. I'm not quite sure what it is Lord Riften sees in me, yet he has been most kind, and I'm honored to be his wife. Well, yes, it did not used to be so easy for me. You see, I was unsure what a man of his stature could possibly need me for. However, he seemed genuinely kind and so caring and forthcoming. I was simply overwhelmed by his kindness. I'm determined to be a good wife to him and a good lady for House Calypso. Yes, I feel as if when I am at Riften's sight, there's nothing that could happen to me. I feel safe and cared for and treasured. It is a feeling I have truly never felt before. You see, I used to be ashamed of my upbringing and how highly Sir Riften seemed to think of me. when in truth I have not been raised the way most noble ladies would. I was taught my place was at the feet of my father. I was the lowest member of our house, and I brought shame to it, is what I was raised to believe. I am uncertain how all of this turned into my favor. After that wedding, you see, I was deeply distraught and afraid of what were to happen next. Yet, I cannot help but starting to feel as if Sir Rifton has given me a second chance at life. I truly wish to do everything in my power to repay his kindness. I am determined not to cause him any regrets. Yes, you see, that is why I need your help to become a proper lady of the house. I need to earn my keep, you see. I do not know how far his kindness could possibly extend if he were to find out I am not as highborn as he seems to believe, and I could not possibly have him find out how utterly useless I used to be. So, please, will you help me? Hello, my sweeties, and welcome back to another Manta Comics review. This month, I actually have the pleasure of reviewing my absolute favorite story from Manta. So of course I tried to go all out for the occasion. The story we are talking about today is Under the Oak Tree. Now, Under the Oak Tree is a romantasy genre, which means it is romance in a fantasy setting, more specifically a medieval fantasy setting, my personal favorite. You have beautiful art styles, beautiful dresses that she wears in the story, and of course you have the most wholesome relationship between the two protagonists. For once, no red flags on the main lead side, just positive vibes, and of course obstacles in their way. However, obstacles they do overcome together and grow on rather than destroying each other over. Now, the best part is that Under the Oak Tree already has 4 full seasons out and just started season number 5, so there's plenty to binge. It is included in a base Manta membership, so no need to spend any extras on crystals. So all those stories will be available to you. It is truly worth the read, I can assure you that. In this story, we follow Maximilian, which I attempted to dress as today, and her husband, Riften. Now, Maximilian is a very timid girl. She as a noble lady. However, she has a stutter that she is unable to seem to shake off. Due to that, her father is very cruel to her. She receives beatings and is punished for stuttering, and in the end she gets married off to just a lowly knight, which is Sir Riften. However, right after the wedding night, he has to be sent off to war again, where he is for 3 long years, during which Maximilian remains at her father's estate and still endures the abuse of him. However, after the war is finally over, it seems that Riften has risen the ranks from a simple knight to a hero who led the war to victory. And of course, as such a fitting reward, he is offered the hand in marriage to a princess, and in turn would need to get his marriage to Maximilian annulled. This, of course, is rather troublesome for Maxie, as it was her one chance to escape her abusive household. But also, should she fail to uphold this marriage, her father would punish her severely. However, luckily for Maximilian, Riften seems to have no such idea. He is not wishing to replace her. He's not looking to annul the marriage and does not seek the princess's hand. In this story, we do join an unfolding love story between both Maximilian and Riften, where Maxie learns to be not afraid of her husband and to slowly starts being able to appreciate how good he treats her and that she is deserving of more. However, Maximilian is always driven by the urge to earn her place. She always wants to work hard to make sure Riften does not regret keeping her on, which in turn leads Riften to believe that she might think he's not good enough for her and makes him want to do better, so Maxie will have to do less. Of course, as you can see, if the two would be talking a little bit more openly about those things, there likely would be little conflict in the story. However, as it happens, Maxie is very timid and does not dare to speak up about such things, and Riften has his own troubles that make it rather hard for him to talk openly about his feelings and his past towards Maxie. Now, this story is wholesome through and through. The relationship between Maxie and Riften is very sweet. They are always respectful towards each other. There's some moments of jealousy, however, usually those misunderstandings clear up soon and they always end up working through things. Of course, though, it's not just about romance. It is also about Maximilian finding her way in her new role as lady of an influential house. However, it happens that peace is not forever. Another war against Dragonkin starts, and Sir Riften, as the hero from the previous war, of course is called to war once more, which is sending Maxie into a rather desperate and fearful state. It is very heartbreaking, but also very enjoyable to see how she deals with these feelings, finds her own solutions to these problems, and finds her way into this story that I, of course, did not wish to spoil for you. If you're looking for an adventurous but wholesome romance, Under the Oak Tree is the right thing for you, I can assure you that. Maxie and Riften are a very sweet couple. Riften truly carries Maxie on his hands. He wants to give her the world. He wants to ensure she's always happy and safe and has everything she could possibly need. There's a lot of self-doubts on both characters' sides, a lot of flaws both of them have to work through, and you really get to see them grow both separately as their own individual and together in their relationship during the 4 seasons leading up to season number 5, which is out right now. This was the first story that introduced me to Manta back in the day. I started my subscription just because of the story, and I have been absolutely captivated by it ever since. I do not regret at all having given it a try, and I truly think that a lot of you guys could appreciate it as well if you like the types of stories I tell in my own videos. And of course, in the end, the question is, will Riften and Maxie ever manage to speak openly about how they feel about both themselves and each other to finally alleviate those self-doubts they both have on their end? I cannot say for certain, however, I do hope that we all get to find out, hopefully soon. If you are not quite fond of comics, there is a light novel as well, and they have also released books, physical copies of the Under the Oak Tree light novel. So if that is more up your alley, I highly recommend you try these instead. Thank you so much to Manta Comics for giving me a chance to talk to you about my absolute favorite story in the romantasy genre. I do hope you enjoyed this little roleplay and of course review, and hope you let me know if you end up giving it a try yourself and what you think of it.